honest. How many times have you said you want to lose weight, but then quit because it wasn't happening fast enough? You start a new plan, step on the scale after a few weeks, don't like the number, and tell yourself, this isn't working. And then what do? You quit. You scroll for another better plan, another quick fix, another thing that promises you results faster. And that is why you're stuck. If you've been frustrated with your weight loss, if you feel like nothing is working, this video is going to change the way you see fat loss forever, because I'm breaking down why you think nothing's happening, what's actually going on in your body, and how to fix it so you can finally stop quitting and start seeing real results. Okay, so let's get into it. Results don't care about your feelings. Let's get this out of the way. Fat loss isn't Amazon Prime. You don't get results in 2 days. Your body is adapting, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. The biggest mistake I see is people quit because they're impatient. Imagine planting a seed and digging it up every week because you didn't see it growing. That's what you're doing every time you start over because you're frustrated. So are you actually stuck or just not patient enough to let your results show? Most people think they're consistent, but when they actually track their habits, they realize they're not doing the things that truly move the needle. I can't tell you how many times a client has come to me saying, I'm doing everything right, but nothing's happening. And then when we actually look at their habits, they're hitting their protein goal some days, but not most days. They're getting in workouts, but skipping half of them when life gets busy. They're tracking macros, but not actually sticking to them. They're prioritizing healthy eating, but not eating enough protein or strength training consistently. They're working hard, but not at the things that actually move the needle. And this isn't to call you out. It's to show you that the problem isn't you. It's just that no one has actually helped you focus on the right things. Fat loss isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent with the right things. So before you say, I'm doing everything right, ask yourself, have I actually been consistent with the habits that matter most? If you keep quitting, you'll keep starting over. The results you want require showing up when it's not exciting. So here's the thing. Once my clients start getting consistent with the right things, they expect to see results instantly. And I get it. You're putting in the work, you're lifting, tracking, hitting your protein, and then you step on the scale and nothing. At that moment, this is where most people quit. They tell themselves, I must be doing something wrong. Maybe my body just won't lose weight. What's the point if I don't see progress? And this is exactly where they sabotage themselves. Because here's the truth. Your body is changing in ways that you can't see. Weight loss isn't instant. Your body doesn't change in a straight line. It's not nothing, 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 and then suddenly a drop. So let me give you an example. I had a client who was so frustrated. She was doing all the right things, but felt like she wasn't seeing progress. Then a few weeks in, she messaged me and she said, oh my gosh, I just put on a pair of jeans I haven't worn in 2 years and they fit. She almost quit in week 2. And if she had, she would have never hit that breakthrough. Okay, so what's actually happening in your body? Here's the part no one tells you. Just because the scale isn't moving doesn't mean your body isn't changing. Fat loss isn't instant and your body does some weird stuff before you actually see results. You are burning fat, but your body holds onto water before the scale drops. Ever notice how sometimes the scale goes up even when you've been on point? That's your body holding onto water before it finally lets go. Annoying? Yes. Normal? Also yes. Your digestion, hormones, and metabolism are adjusting. If you've been under eating or yo-yo dieting, your metabolism needs a second to recalibrate. If you're upping your protein and fiber, yeah, your gut is probably freaking out a little bit before things balance out. And you're also losing inflammation and bloat, but not in the way the scale shows yet. The moment you start eating better and cutting out the extra junk, your body feels leaner, even if the number doesn't budge. That's progress. You just can't weigh it. Your body composition is changing, even if the weight isn't. If you ever put on jeans and realize they fit way better, but the scale hasn't moved, that's because you're shifting where fat is stored, tightening up, and looking leaner before the number catches up. So if you're ready to throw in the towel because the scale hasn't moved, stop. Your body is doing behind the scenes work before giving you that big drop. All right, so now you know, just because the scale isn't moving doesn't mean you aren't making progress. But here's where most people screw up. Instead of staying the course, they panic. They think, well, this isn't working, and start second guessing everything. They slash their calories even more. They start doing a bunch of extra cardio. They bounce from plan to plan, hoping for faster results. And you know what that does? Keeps you stuck. Instead of freaking out and making the same mistakes that keep you stuck, let's talk about what actually works. Because here's the deal. Fat loss isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things consistently. So number one, stop obsessing over the scale. I know you want that number to drop, but if you let the scale control your mood, you're setting yourself up to fail. Instead, start tracking things that actually show progress. How your clothes fit, how strong you're getting, your energy levels, your consistency with habits. Because trust me, when those things improve, the weight will follow. Number two, ask yourself, am I actually being consistent? And I mean really consistent, not just Monday through Thursday and then winging it on the weekends. Be honest. Have you been hitting your protein goal every day, getting at least 3 to 4 strength workouts per week, prioritizing sleep instead of scrolling your phone at night? Or are you just kind of doing it and expecting full-time results from part-time effort? If that one hit, drop guilty in the comments. And number three, give yourself a 90-day commitment. Listen, real fat loss isn't a 2-week detox or a 30-day challenge. You need to commit for at least 90 days before deciding if something is working. Because think about it, where would you be today if you had just stuck with it 3 months ago instead of quitting? So instead of searching for another quick fix, commit to 90 days of actually showing up. No starting over, no second guessing, just putting in the work. And listen, if you're tired of guessing and want a plan that actually works, I've got you. Check the link in the description and let's do this the right way. Okay, now let's talk about the biggest mistake that keeps people stuck in the same cycle year after year. The I'll start over on Monday trap. How many times have you done this? You have one off day and immediately decide that you've ruined everything. So you say, screw it, I'll just start fresh next week. Then next week turns into next month. Next month turns into I'll get serious after summer. And before you know it, it's been 6 months and you're in the exact same spot. Does that sound familiar? If you've ever said, I'll start over Monday, drop no more Mondays in the comments. Let me ask you something. Where would you be right now if you just kept going instead of restarting every time things weren't perfect? Every time you start over, you're not actually starting fresh, you're setting yourself back. Instead of building momentum, you're stuck in day one over and over again. So the solution, stop trying to be perfect because perfect doesn't get you results. Consistency does. If you had a rough weekend, get right back to the normal routine. No drastic changes. If you missed a workout, cool, hit the next one. Don't overcompensate with extra cardio. If you ate something off plan, move on. One meal didn't ruin anything. The people who succeed aren't perfect. They just don't quit. It's not about discipline or motivation, it's about commitment. So here's the challenge. No more starting over, no more waiting until Monday, no more talking yourself out of progress. Because at the end of the day, you can either keep making excuses or actually get to your goal. And if you're serious about making this the last time you try to lose weight, I've got you. Check the description for some free resources below. And hey, if you want more Real Talk Fitness advice that actually works, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video.